To week 19 on the ancient biblical calendar. This is another amazing episode. Parents' ability to raise their children based upon their beliefs in our country is so under attack these days. I know I'm not saying anything new that you're not already aware of. Now, the scriptures speak to the vital importance of raising children in a manner based upon the true Torah. And it discusses how to do this in many places through many stories. The role of parents in caring for their children has a big influence on their future. If it did not, the Dark Kingdom would not be full throttle going after your kids right now. So when I looked at this week's calendar events, I thought about how in two of the events there are people sitting with a prophet regarding the outcome of their life. One was in a synagogue and was being healed by Yeshua Jesus, who is a prophet. And then another group was sitting at the feet of Ezekiel, and they were receiving a rebuke on the judgments of the people. This reminded me of the Moedim harvest season, the wheat and the tares, that we've been discussing now, really since first fruits. One has chosen life and the other death. So the question is, where are your children going to be sitting? What are they going to choose? Whose wine are they going to be drinking on the festival of new wine? Because everybody is going to hear from a prophet and drink someone's cup. All through Scripture, Yah sends prophets to his people. And in the end times, we have 2 witnesses and 3 heavenly angels delivering final messages to the people. Where will your children be? Can you parents now make a difference in the outcome? The answer is yes. Both this video and our part 2 on the new wine series coming out this week relate to one another. Be sure to watch them both. Today's bonus, after the brief review of the calendar events, is a translation from a set of parents who knew of my own work in translating from Paleo Hebrew. They asked me to translate a verse specifically for them. It is a well-known verse that speaks to raising children. So be sure to watch until the end to hear the full parental message. It will surprise you and confirm what we see in our world today. I hope any parent watching this video takes it to heart as motivation to stand even more firm in the way, the truth, and the life, and on the real rock. Please take a moment to click the like button and to subscribe to our channel. Let's get started.
Hello there, this is Joshua. I'm your narrator for week 19. And it is the 127th day of the year, the 19th week, 4th day of the week. 5-6, counting to oil, day 4. Not a lot going on this week, but there is a few things. Next day is day 5, counting new oil, day 6, day 7 on the Sabbath. On that Sabbath, Yeshua heals a man's head at a synagogue. And Yeshua eats grain in the fields and teaches on who is master of the Sabbath. The next day, Israeli elders come before prophet Ezekiel and get a strong rebuke. This occurs 4 years before the destruction of the Second Temple. The 2 texts disagree on the exact date. One says the 10th and another the 17th. Rabbinic tradition has this as the same date the first temple was destroyed by fire. Then there is counting to new oil, days 9 and 10. This week's little bonus section is Proverbs 22:6 that my wife translated from the Yehudiath. Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. Yeah, that's a good way to maybe put it, what she gets out of it. And before we go any deeper, I'm going to show you this Yehudiath translation asterisk when you see it, what it means. Part of the Yehudiath translation is to take the letters down to their two-letter root meanings and the meanings of the picture they tell. A Yehudiath translation will be longer and have a richness not given in traditional translations or interpretations. The meanings of the letters themselves and the anointed communication of the Yehudiath alphabet is being received over time by a number of people under guidance of the Ruach as part of the restoration of all things. When this level of understanding is being translated, the words will appear in italics. Now, what she got from this verse: dedicated training of children in the true way will manifest grace and favor. The children will have elevated speech, meaning they can bridle what comes from their inner self. Their hearts will not turn away from the true light in Torah, from expressing the manna. And her commentary on this is, what an interesting verse to translate. Unexpected depth in this simple verse. The very first word can be translated as thy grace and favor. The visuals, asterisks, of the letters show protection of children inside the fence of Torah, receiving instruction. This is why I added the phrase, in the true way. It certainly takes dedication on the part of parents to accomplish training of children, so I feel both the parents and children receive favor and grace. The section on bridling, what comes out of our mouths, reminded me of the verses below. Proverbs 13:2 and 3. A man shall eat good by the fruit of his mouth, but the soul of the transgressors shall eat violence. He that keepeth his mouth keepeth his life, but he that openeth wide his lips shall have destruction. James 1:26. If any man among you seem to be religious, and bridleth not his tongue, but deceiveth his own heart, this man's religion is vain. The word H5493, Samak Varesh, translated as turn away, has a two-letter root that is shared by both the Yehudiath words for light and Torah. The letter Samak is a picture of an engineered structure. I see this as a picture of the education received by the children, building a structure in their brains down to the level of neurons, which literally flash light, science talks about this, when they are communicating. So as your child receives Torah, light is flashing in their engineered structures, their brains. We all appreciate someone who can bridle some of the thoughts that flash through our minds. The last word, mem mem nun hey, can be understood in several ways. The letter mem can be a prefix that means from, but the remaining letters, mem nun hey, are not it. Hey is a suffix that means her, or it adds action, expression, manifestation to the main word. The letters mem nun in the middle form the word for manna, as in the manna that fell in the wilderness during the Exodus. I see this verse showing parents feeding their children instructions, just as Yah fed the children in the wilderness the manna. Alert and caution. A few of the words in this verse can have a negative meaning in addition to their positive one. Taken as a group, they formed a message worthy of mention. We know our enemy is very interested and active in training in their way as many children as possible. The word for children can be translated as we will, enemy, foe, which comes just before the word for mouth. How much speech exists these days, which is the enemy speaking to the children? The word translated turn away also has a meaning of deterioration and degeneration. If the enemy's voice is what is getting embedded and obeyed, how we know that deterioration and degeneration does happen physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. The enmity of the seeds that begins in Genesis 3:15 shows itself in the very last word. We have two root level words, mem and nun he. Mem is a deep word related to liquids, essence, and DNA. When you insert a yod, you get H4325, mayim, or water. Nun he relates to children, activity, manifestation, expression. During these end times, we are seeing the days of Noah manifest before our eyes as our enemy is very active, corrupting the creation of DNA. So to conclude the negative, I see it actually as a hidden word for parents raising children, that with Yah's help, children will remain expressing the true seed imparted. And that is it for this week. Thank you. Shalom.
Enjoyed this short calendar episode, please like and subscribe to our channel and leave us a comment that you were here. We'd appreciate that very much. Shalom.